Hello, everybody! Happy Tuesday, and welcome back for another episode. If not now, when? I'm your host, Wen, today, and I'm just so excited because our special guest today joined us, Minh Tran, on the show. And let me tell you a little bit about Minh. First, you need to know about Minh is always ready to serve. He is such a big part of a local Austin community. He served as a board member for so many nonprofits. He always ready to support, answer any questions, and help out when he need. So that's one. Secondly, Minh also is a very successful business person. In 2009, my friend, in such a tough time for all of us, he started the idea with his friend in the basement in a very cold Michigan state. He started run with the idea 7 years, built the idea from the basement to truly a global enterprise. Then he entered the business 2016. Today, I am just such an honor to have Minh join today's show to share such an incredible journey. I'm just so excited. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the show.
Wow, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here today. And then hopefully, your listeners will benefit from some of the insight that I have to share.
Amazing. So let's jump in here, Minh. You have such a beautiful journey. Just tell us, how does all the magic begin?
I don't know if it's magic per se, but I would say it's a passion, right? I knew at a very young age that I was not built or made to work for anybody. I'm the youngest, of 8 in a family of 8, very hardworking refugees from Vietnam. But growing up, being dirt poor, I just felt like it was my calling at an early age that I wasn't going to work in the corporate world. I gave it a try. It didn't work for me. I made a lot of friends. Don't get me wrong, and it was fun during the time. But I just couldn't. I didn't feel like I was a 9 to 5 type of person. So that's when I really branched off and started my own company in 2009.
Beautiful. And Minh, you comment briefly about you coming from the immigration background. And, when you talk, you mentioned that your family immigrate from Vietnam, to Michigan, when you were young, right? When you were not even born yet. Mm-hmm. I'm curious how that immigration life impact and shape who you are today. Growing up in Michigan, was that easy? Was it, yeah?
It wasn't easy. And again, in my early age, I don't remember much, but just hearing the stories, and I tell people who, they like to learn about my family. I always ask them, it's like us picking you up from America, throwing you back to Vietnam, and you don't speak the language, for one. Secondly, you have no money. And thirdly, it's cold, it's snowing. How would you handle that? And then that's kind of when the light bulb goes off to folks, like, wow, that's quite a journey. Their family went through that. And so I give it a lot to my parents and the siblings, because it's basically starting your life all over again in a new world almost, and trying to figure it out. The government will give you some assistance, but it's really pretty much enough to get you by. It's what you make of it is really what makes you. I look at it. So at an early age, when I saw the struggles that, especially what my mom was going through, it really dawned on me that, hey, I don't want to be like this. I want to be something different, something special. I want to make a name for our family. I want to leave a legacy. And so it was always in the back of my mind. And so be it, here we are today.
Beautiful. This is so beautiful. I love that you took that experience and really, use as your strength so you can build something bigger. You can be something that your family are so proud, which is so incredible. And you mentioned earlier, in the beginning, you said you always knew you want to be entrepreneur. I wonder, when did you knew and how do you knew that's your thing?
At an early age, I know I didn't want to be poor. Because being poor really sucked growing up. Coming from a large family, I always wonder why, my big bowl of rice only had one piece of meat or one piece of egg. And I hated it because it's really hard if you try to eating rice by itself, right? It's very being Asian. So that really started to drive me, I think. And
Mhm.
I was really I was kind of blessed with the ability of being very athletic too. And
Mhm.
so I felt like being, a minority but Asian growing up in Langston, Michigan, uh, and playing sports really helped me compete and not really give up, right? And so I always wanted to win. I always wanted to be the best player. I never liked to lose. And so that all that in combination of being poor and being picked on growing up, being picked on in school, wearing, old clothing, not having lunches to eat, it just all built up in me. And I said, you know what? I'm not gonna live this. My kids aren't gonna live this lifestyle, and I'm gonna just really try to do something big. And I remember at a really young age, I remember my older brothers. I have four older brothers that laughed at me, and I said, someday I'm gonna own something big for us and the family. And at the time, I had a vision of owning a bank. I said, I'm gonna own a bank someday because it was money, right? And they all laughed at me, and they're like, "Whatever, get out of here. You're so full of it," And things like that, I always kept in the back of my mind when people told me I couldn't do something. I use that as fuel to
Beautiful.
drive myself. And so I use a lot of those experiences growing up to help me drive to where I am today.
Beautiful. So tell us a little bit about the journey. You have this idea, and how does the entrepreneur journey unfold?
You know, again, it comes with the vision and a dream, right? I mentioned I was very into sports. I That's all I knew growing up. While kids were watching TV, and my wife actually laughs at me a lot because I don't know a lot of the shows. When my wife and the kids talk about that they watch growing up, I have no idea what they are, because I spent most of my time really outside playing sports, getting better. And so with the passion with sports, I played everything: volleyball, basketball, tennis, soccer, baseball. Um, I just really enjoyed sports. So I knew, uh, when I started a business, it was going to be something sports related because that was my passion. So I took that passion and built a brand called Fan Tape that nobody was doing at the time. So what I did was I really just took the basic concept of duct tape, which is really boring and gray, and put basically college logos and colors on them, and tested the market. And at the end of the day, I had over 100 college licensing that gave me the rights to make my product with their logos on it. And that's what really started the whole company. So it was really fun. I got to travel around the country talking to every single basically athletic department because that's what I enjoyed. And they all loved the concept. And I got them behind me to support what I was trying to do because nobody was offering this product at the time.
Beautiful. So now you had an idea, you start a journey. Was it an easy journey? And is that everything you wanted it?
If I told you it was easy, I'd be lying. And if it was easy, I think everybody would do it, right? And I tell even young entrepreneurs now that I mentor, even folks who, older folks who wants to even start a small business, I always prepare them that, hey, there's a lot of bad days when you run a business. There's a lot more bad days than there are good days. But when it's good, it's really, really good. It kind of outweighs the bad. But you take the bad days and you learn from it and you grow from it and you make yourself better. So it's a challenge. It's a lot of fun if you really feel it, right? But what I envisioned, at the time when I started my business was, I again, me being so competitive, that I wanted to own the market. I wanted to be the best, and I wanted everybody to know about what I was doing. And I think I accomplished that pretty well. And I share this story. What really dawned on me at some point was when I started meeting other businesses at trade shows, and the first question they would ask me is, "How did you get into Walmart? I've been trying for 25 years and I'm still not in Walmart. How did you do it?" And so in the retail business, when folks get into Walmart, that's like hitting a gold mine for them.
Mhm.
And I said, you know what? I don't know. They came to me, which was another amazing story. Walmart
Wow.
came to me and asked me to put my product in their stores, which again is really sometimes unheard of at the time. And so it's like I said, when you believe it, you build it, they will come. Kind of like Field of Dreams, right? They build it, they will come to you, and they're gonna want your product some point.
Wow. By the way, that's unheard of then. It's still unheard of today.
Yeah,
Walmart is not going to Prada asking, please come to my store. That
yeah,
is amazing.
yeah, it is. And I shared another amazing story while we're talking about Walmart. Was I actually had a team of buyers. They
Mhm.
were really excited about what I was doing. That flew back to my factory where I was making my product, and the whole conversation was, we're only going to give you 3 hours at your factory. We're going to walk your factory, and then we're going to talk business. They ended up spending 6 hours of their time with me that day at my factory, because that's how much they really wanted to support me in the products that I was offering. So it's quite a unique story, and I share that with folks, telling them that, hey, if you truly believe in what you're doing and be sincere about it, people will come, and they're gonna give you all the attention you need and support you in every way that they can. So I'm proud of that story, actually.
Wow. So beautiful. I can sense that, you put so much heart and soul into what you do and truly believing it. And you're such a people person, so genuine, so authentic. And when you show up with your full passion and you really have this beautiful product, of course everybody gonna love you.
I appreciate that.
Yes. So now I want to pivot a little bit, right? Me, you mentioned that you'll be lying if you told me business is so easy, just me, like every day can be a great day. Let's talk about challenges. Can you recall, is there one of the biggest challenges you overcome through the journey?
You know, it's going to be multiple challenges. I start from really the bottom. The key I tell people is people. It's
Mhm.
so extremely difficult to find good people that truly believe in what you believe in, and trying to carry that mission forward, right?
Mhm.
So I went through so many different sales executives that I had to hire to be with. Again, everybody thinks when they come on board that they're going to do the best thing ever, but it never seems to work out. Secondly, the quality of the products. That's really key, because you don't want to ruin your reputation and your brand, right? So working with the factories is a challenge, and as you know, when I give you a lot of credit. You told me you learned the English language in 4 years of being here. With all my factories being in Asia, they don't really understand a lot of the times the American culture of doing business. They think by making a simple mistake, it's an easy fix. It doesn't work that way. Um, and having said that, one mistake could really take your company down, right? So staying on top of the factories and the language barrier that I have to deal with, and then working with licensing with university, it's very difficult to get a license with the university. I mean, it's a lot of red tape that you have to go through, and so
Mhm.
just mainly staying on top of those things, it's a
Mhm.
full-time job in itself.
For sure. And there are so many challenges, Ming. So let me ask you this. What drives you? What motivates you keep going the day that is a rep day, there's a mistake, there's a failure, there's a, how do you keep going and pushing it through?
What's when I see friends and even family texting me, even from afar, California, Florida. Hey man, we saw your product in Walgreens, or we saw your product in Party City. That brings a real good smile to my face. And that's what really drives me, because when people think it's cool, it drives me to keep trying to develop and continuing what I'm trying to do. And
Mhm.
so that's a huge motivation for me. That I see people happy, and then when fans, I used to get random messages from alums from, let's say, University of Miami, that would text me, or I'm sorry, not text me, but email me and say, "Man, I wish I would have thought of this idea years ago. This is such a great idea. I use your product in everything I do when I ship my products." or I build my kids toys with your duct tape. Things like that, again, just really motivates me. Like, wow, this is great. I'm actually making an impact, and people really like what I'm offering. So that keeps me going, keeps me
Beautiful.
motivated. So it's fun that way.
Wow. I love that. I mean, you're just such a people person. You just want to bring a smile to people's face and really, love what you do and love, to serve. I think just such a spirit of you and so beautiful.
Mhm.
And of course, Ming, today you are such a success, right? Coming 7 year journey is not easy. And I think oftentimes we don't talk about it enough about, we talk a lot about success, but not really talk about failure enough, which in my mind, failure is a stepping stone for any success. So I want to pivot a little bit, ask you, is there a biggest failure you want to share with us today that, how does that shape who you are?
That's a great question. And yes, it really does, because when you fail is really what builds character, right? If you can pick back up from your failure and learn from it, that's what's gonna make you, a better person. So before I actually started Fan Tape, I had another little venture that I did with another friend, and that failed tremendously. And honestly, I think we were ahead of the game, and some unethical things happen that really put set me back a little bit. So I took from that experience, and going back to my comment earlier, was people, right?
Mhm.
Trusting people, believing in people, finding the right folks to work for you. And I found the wrong person to work with at the time. And so I took that, and it was tough. It took a toll on me. It took a toll on my family. It took a toll on our finances at the time, and
Mhm.
it took a toll on my reputation. People
Wow.
people kind of put me on the blacklist for a little bit, because they thought I was the same as this other person that I was in the business with, that we failed. So, having said that, it took a period of time for me to really rebuild that, and refocus myself, and get the buy-in from especially my wife and my family, to help me, um, pursue my Fan Tape career, executive fan in the brand Fan Tape, and take that to the level that it was. So that I would say failure is a big key to being successful. If you don't fail, and when you do, you won't know how to handle it. So I like it to hear people when they fail. And
Mhm.
when I invest now, or when there's an opportunity for me to invest, I always ask, the entrepreneur, have you failed before? And when they say no, that makes me a little worried, because now if my money went into your investment and you failed, it makes me worried that you may not know how to handle it. So I truly like the fact when people fail and pick back up, because it builds character.
Hmm. And let me just piggyback on that. Being, sounds like that failure, it wasn't easy. It wasn't a small, tiny failure. It's like a big hit on your reputation, your finances, and that's your first venture, right? You always knew you wanted to be an entrepreneur. You did that, you failed, and that in Asian family it doesn't look good, right? How did you get up? Because we all fail from time to time. And what really differentiates people is not when you fail, is how do you get up? So how did you get up? How were you able to be unshakable and get up and do it again?
A lot of prayer, honestly. There were days where I honestly didn't know how I was going to make it. Um, and I share this live too. This is probably the first time I really shared this in public. Was there were days where I thought my life was coming to an end, um, because what I put my family through, my wife through, my kids through at the time. And so, I've been blessed to have, some really strong support from the family. My wife, especially, she always believes in what I have to say. It's really weird, and so I believe I'm the best salesman ever, because if I can sell my wife, I can sell anybody, right? So I
So
always,
beautiful.
yeah, I turn to her, and it's always, hey, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And so, you know, that, along with my brothers, who have been a great support to me, every time, when our family took a toll, they really stepped up, and to this day I feel like I owe them a lot. And when the family, even my brothers, my wife included, we've created this bond where if anybody does have a failure or have struggles, it just seems like it's just a natural that everybody just clicks together and help each other figure it out. So it comes in a combination of things. It's a great question. I sometimes don't even know how I got through that phase. To be honest, I thought I was going blind at some point where I couldn't see anything.
Wow.
I didn't want to see the next day,
Mhm.
because of the struggles, the challenges I had at the time. So that's why I live life to the fullest now.
Beautiful.
You know, I enjoy every day. Wake up, just loving it.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
I mean, I want to reframe that question, right? Today, we are living in this pandemic world. It's not easy for every one of us. And if they are entrepreneur today, being through what you've been through, maybe are thinking, I don't know if there's a tomorrow, if he or she doesn't know how to see the light just yet. What would you tell him or tell her?
I use the phrase a lot, even with my own kids. In life, in sports, I tell people, in entrepreneurs, I say, he who hesitates is lost. If you truly believe in it, go for it. Once you start hesitating, then you're gonna start putting doubts in your mind. Then you're not really sure. Then the insecurity kicks in, and then you're gonna put everything back on the back burner. And then 5, 10 years down the road, you look back like, wow, I wish I would have done it. What if, what if I would have given it a try? And so, that's why I use the term "he who hesitates is lost." If you truly believe in it, I believe this pandemic, yes, it's taken a toll on a lot of people, but it's worldwide, right? But there's always opportunities that come from this, um, you know, and so you just got to take a look at what you're wanting to do and see if it's a good fit for that, and go for it. Don't hesitate. If you believe in it, go for it. Don't do the what if. Don't say I'll
Mhm.
try in a year or two, because as soon as you start putting stuff in the back burner, you'll never approach it again. It's like throwing something in the closet. You think you're gonna go and need that 2 months from now. You'll never remember. So
Mhm.
go for it. Don't look at this pandemic as a lost opportunity.
Mhm. Beautiful. I heard this one saying that, one day in our deathbed, when I'm laying there, we are not regretting things we did. We regret things we didn't do. So I love your message, Ming. It's really believe in yourself, go for it, and create your own economy and truly just choose to believe and have that single faith, that single focus, that enthusiasm, that passion that's gonna make magic happen.
Absolutely.
Amazing. So, Ming, I want to ask you, pivoting that question, right? So, what does success mean to you? Since we talk about failure, and of course, you are a successful person. So, what does success mean to you? And do you think you are successful?
Success isn't always, I feel, about money, right? Success is more of, you know, um, what people believe in you, and basically in the way you carry yourself. To be successful, you can create a $1 billion company, but if everybody can't stand you, I mean, I don't know if that's considered success, because you've probably created more enemies than you've created friends. And so success is really, it's a combination of things. I look at success as, obviously, you got to love what you do, whatever the case that is. Um, Family and friends is a key to success as well, because if you don't have that infrastructure, you might not be happy. So then you don't feel like you're successful. Um,
Hmm.
living environment and conditions, I think, is also part of success, because if you don't have the means to really live where you love, and then you wake up unhappy every day, then that success is kind of out the window, right? Because you didn't succeed into moving into a nice place or a nice environment or a nice city or state, whatever it is. So I feel like success doesn't always have to deal with money or what you've done. It's what other folks also perceive what you have done and carried yourself to be today as well.
So, in that definition, do you think you are successful today?
I do. I feel like I'm really in a good place in my life right now. as you mentioned, I've been here in the Austin area for a little over 3 years, and getting involved in the community, especially with the Asian Chamber of Commerce. They've been really good to me, and I hope I can return the favor. I'm trying, but when I meet folks now, I don't I don't come out and say, "Hey, I built a business, I built a brand and sold it." That's probably part of my last conversation. But when they get to know me, and then we become friends, and then they start introducing me to other folks, then I feel like, okay, I'm making a success here in Austin. Getting my name out there, getting folks to know who I really am, and building that again infrastructure and foundation of for me to to help other folks succeed. So I feel really good where I'm at today. I really do.
So beautiful. I love that. You obviously done it yourself, and now you are just trying to giving back and helping others to succeed just like you did, which is so beautiful. And I gotta have to ask you, Yasmin, you mentioned that today you also invest in supporting other startup, other entrepreneurs to be successful. And you and me, we know this. As an Asian, we know math. Statistically, right, 90% of a startup or entrepreneur gonna fail. I'm gonna ask, what made you successful? What is the one single thing, if you can single out, that made you who you are today and truly stand out among all others in your time?
For me at the time, I think I came to the market believing what I had to offer was something that nobody else at the time, nobody actually really did. It was an idea, a concept that has never been proven. And so by me believing that, that's why I felt others would believe it. And so being living in the best country in the world, I see,
Mhm.
United States, sports really is an entertainment for us, right? When there's no football uh, at any level, college, professional, um, it's really boring. There's really nothing to watch on TV. So I felt like if I can capture that audience with my product, then I knew I was onto something. And so the key for me was continuing to develop that in the outreach program. So that's why I spent a lot of my time going to different universities and speaking to the alumni association, offering my products, creating different programs where they can engage their alum to come back and give back to the university somehow, because that's how they generate and keep their universities going, is through the alumni donation. So just staying ahead of the game, right? Trying to be creative and being engaging at the same time to keep my business and my vision going. Once I lost focus, or if I were to lose focus, that would probably be the end of it. So it's always trying to stay one step ahead and believe. So with businesses now that are starting, I always ask for their business plan, because I like to see what they're seeing 5 years down the road once they start the business, or even 10 years down the road. What's their vision? And businesses that are looking for investments that don't provide me with that, it's an automatic red flag for me, and I just say no. Because if you don't have a plan, then where are you going, right? What's your end game? So I that's part of my learning experience and how I look at businesses now, if they're going to make it or not.
Beautiful. I love that you said, really, you have an idea, but you really set a vision, not just an idea. Truly pull your heart, and so you believe in it and go after with its persistent, with focus, with its discipline. And I think that enable you to be someone so special and so successful today.
Thank you.
So beautiful. So, May, obviously this is a long journey to today. I'm curious, looking back, reflecting, would you change anything if you had this magic wand?
Ooh, tough question. Wow. You know, yes, I would change some, but it's very minor things. You know, I think I could have done a better job, with the what do you call it, the manufacturing cycle of things. I made my life a little bit more difficult by using different manufacturing, doing different things. But honestly, other than that, I mean, and besides, finding the right folks to work for me, I probably wouldn't change a whole lot. I really enjoyed it, from the business aspect, what I was doing. I miss it. I think about it all the time.
Oh my God.
Where we would
Mhm,
be today if I continued,
mhm,
part of the company. But not a whole lot I would change.
mhm.
It's a life lesson, right? And if I had that wish, um, it's one of those things. Only if, right? If I had this wish, I don't know if I really want to have that wish. You know what I mean? Because it's always gonna be in the back of my head, like, oh man, only if I would have done this. I'd rather just take what I did, learn from it, and move forward. And that's the key to my life going forward.
Beautiful.
Time. Hmm.
I love that. And that lead me to my next question is mean you build a business from a little idea in your basement in the cold Michigan to this successful enterprise. Was it easy to let go? Because that was your baby. Like 7 years is not easy, right? Every single day you are going in and out, you are grinding, you are hustling. Was it easy to let go? And I think a lot of us, a lot of entrepreneurs, when it's first baby, first a real success, it's that it's a part, it become who you are. It's part of you, right? Was it the easy decision? Was it easy to let go?
No, it was not. It was actually pretty emotional for me. And I share this story. It was the last day that I was there. Actually, it was one of those days like, boy, do I really know what I'm doing? Like, is this really what I want? So it was really sad, and I mentioned I miss it. I miss it all the time. I just but it was the right thing to do, because of the opportunity that I had. And honestly, it came to the point in my life and in the business where you had mentioned that I'm a people person. I enjoy being out there meeting folks, introducing my product. I felt like I was more tied down to babysitting, which I'm not really good at. So it took me from what I really enjoy doing to more of things that I didn't enjoy doing. And it was going on for a period of time where I just felt like, you know what, it's time to really exit and put it in good hands of somebody that really wants to dedicate and do this for the rest of their life, because I didn't see myself doing that for the rest of my life. And when I started the business, when I started the plan, I actually had a 5-year exit strategy, but it took me 7. So I gave it 2 extra years, right? And timing with the family and the kids, everything just added up. And I felt like it was just time to go.
Wow. I think time and time again, Ming, you come with this vision. You really know what you want, even though it's a hard thing to do, but you know it's the right thing. You go ahead, execute it anyway. I think that discipline, that vision is truly made you who you are today.
It is, and I laugh about it now, but growing up, both my parents would say, he's different than you guys. He's stubborn. He's never gonna listen to you guys. And it's true. Just like us, my family picking up and leaving Michigan, right? My entire family still lives in Michigan. All other siblings, and the time was I'm leaving. And they're like, "No, you're not." I said, "Yeah, I actually am. This I want to get out of the code. I want to move to Texas." And I just did it. I didn't really hesitate or ask for permission. I don't. I just when I believe in something, I just go ahead and do it. And if the rest follows, great. If they don't, so be it. I just keep moving on.
Wow, you are a natural born leaders.
Yeah, well,
And then, today you are just such a legend, right? Whether it's your family or the life you create, you are the first person who left, you first person started business and truly, made something that, so incredible. I'm sure you and your entire family are so proud of you. And I want to pivot the question, your parents come to America, right, in that such a turmoil time from Vietnam, and you made a big, huge, beautiful success for yourself and for your family today. I'm curious, what does American dream mean for you?
I think I accomplished it. Honestly, I say that because I think I had the harder road than most American kids who have this dream. And so, we live, I think I shared this with you, is we live in the best country, in the country with the most opportunities. And I don't believe in excuses. And I tell my kids this all the time too, is that, don't give me excuses, because I don't like hearing it. So just do it, right? So I feel like I accomplished that. I gave it a run. I was, I call it, I had the best of both worlds, actually, because I'm still very traditional in an aspect with my Vietnamese culture. Very close, speak the language fluently. Still carry those a lot of the tradition in my family life. But I also had the experience of the American dream, as you would say it, where I grew up as an American, played the sports, had to live, the good life, and then go on, got a great education, and then worked and made decent money as an engineer, and then go on and start my own business and become a success from that. So I truly believe if I can do it, anybody can do it, and so there's no excuses for that. So the I feel like I truly witnessed the American dream, what I just went through in my life.
Beautiful. That is so incredible. And you mentioned this, you had a both best part of both world, whether it's your Vietnamese background or grew up in America and play sports, all that. How do you instill that discipline and that experience to your children that you are the father today, right? So they are grew up in this beautiful country. They probably don't have to eat rice with one piece of egg, right? They probably have multiple eggs, right? How do you make sure pass down that discipline, that grit, that perseverance that you had coming from your experience?
I share this with people a lot of times. I ran a business, had a bunch of folks working, but it's harder for me to manage my own kids. It's such a challenge because they're your kids, right? And they don't understand it. So I struggle. I would lie to you if I said that I didn't. However, I constantly remind them of where I came from. It's little things like, even at the dinner table, where I have three boys, and my daughter's the oldest. The older kids, they don't have an issue finishing their dinner, but the younger kids, they do, and I always eat their leftovers, and they always ask me why. But I said that's how I grew up, because I don't believe in waste. I feel like what's put in front of you, you really have to, admire that, and not throw it away, because it doesn't come easy for a lot of folks. There's folks in this world that are starving right now. And that's something that my mom really embedded into me. I used to remember, even though I had a half bowl full of just rice, my mom would pick it up and eat it because she didn't want it to go to waste. So just little simple things like that,
Mhm.
that I try to pass down onto the kids. And I created a saying for my kids, and they'll tell you if you ever get a chance to meet them, is, um, friends come and go, but family is forever. We have a huge family. We have cousins all over the country here. Um, my kids, most of their cousins are back in Michigan, some in Texas, but we make sure that they, are in communication with each other, because you never know when these kids need the support, especially in today's society where social media to, just the environment itself with this pandemic, you see all the hate and the ugly and the challenges people go through. And so I feel like right now they need family more than any other time in their life. And with this COVID, homeschooling, it's been a challenge for my kids. They're stuck in their bedroom, so we give them an outlet of, let's keep the family traditions, let's keep communication with family, right? And so that's part of the culture that I want to embed in my kids, to keep that going, even with just the four of them going forward. So that's the key.
Wow, so beautiful. And I want to say my mom do the same thing with the rice as well. So today I have hard time to throw things away. So thank you for commenting that, because Eric never understands. So
Yep.
I felt I'm being loved. So thank you. I think it's so beautiful that what you do and how you want to cultivate this family, a forward culture for yourself and your beautiful family, which is amazing.
Mhm.
I mean, today you've done so much. There's so much up and down, and you come this moment. You are just such a beautiful, wonderful soul, wonderful heart, and I'm just so honored to meet you today and kind of share your beautiful stories. And I'm curious. My last question to you, Ming, is there anything else you want to share that I have not asked today? Is there something else you want to share with today's entrepreneurs who may be in their grind, in their hustling, trying to figure things out? And is there anything else you want to share?
You know, I share with especially entrepreneurs, right? And I've said this all along through our session here is like, don't give up. You hear that all the time, and it's really easy actually to give up. It's really just easy to just say, I'm done, I quit, no more. The hard part is keep going. Um, but if you believe in it, the key is keep going. Surround yourself with the support of folks. Folks that would truly is going to help you succeed. And the funny thing too is that I tell folks this all the time is when you start a business, um, you come from a family that's very tight knit. Be ready to lose them. If you lose them, you just gotta prepare yourself for it, especially if you're extremely close, because sometimes family could be your worst enemy. Um, they don't believe in your vision or your mission, and they become really naysayers, right? And so that's a challenge in itself. That's a stress that you really don't need as an entrepreneur. You just got to learn to set that aside and believe in your vision and your mission. So that's my message: is keep going, right? If you believe in it, keep going. Don't let anybody stop you. You can only stop yourself.
Wow. So beautiful, Ming. I love that message. Don't give up and just truly choose to believe. There's gonna be a light in the end of the tunnel, and really just follow through your vision and just keep going.
Keep
Failure,
grinding.
a failure experience does not make you a failure. You stopped. The moment you give up, that made you become a quote unquote failure. So I think if anybody who want to be successful, who are so looking up someone like me, really choose to believe, hone to a vision, and keep going.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much, Ming, for joining us today. Share such a beautiful story with us. Your heart, your soul. You're such a wonderful man. I feel like everybody can hear it, can feel it, and so touched and so inspired by it. I really want to honor you and thank you. Be such a full present and share so many authentic and beautiful and wonderful stories. So thank you so much for coming join us, and thank you so much everybody for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed so much. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I cannot wait to see you guys next Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Have a great day.